Chapter 13, Blow. Su Ping was in no mood to engage in verbal contending with her. He hung up his coat, then he went to the sofa in the living room and poured himself a glass of water. He had just filled the glass when a delicate hand with porcelain skin reached over and took over the glass. She drained the cup with one gulp. Who could it be other than Su Lingyu? Her raised eyebrows, which expressed, "Do you have a problem with that?" when Su Ping landed his gaze on her. Su Ping cast a glance to the phantom flame beast who was crouching on her shoulder. That pet harbored no good intentions. Su Ping felt he had to be the bigger man to live his life. Therefore, he decided not to hold the grudge against her. He just took another glass and poured himself some water. Su Lingyu snorted. She threw herself into the other side of the sofa and stretched to feel comfortable. Someone is getting smarter today. Good, the stupid guy can be taught. Su Ping paid no heed to her words. He was measuring the phantom flame beast lying in her arms with his eyes. Soon after, information appeared in his mind. Phantom flame beast. Property, pet of the demon family. Rank, upper position of the 3rd rank. Combat strength, 4.6. Aptitude, low. Abilities mastered, Phantom Flame Strike, Hellish Breath of Fire, Mental Fire Thaumaturgy, Spiritual Impalement, and Roar of Phantoms. Su Ping raised his eyebrows as he finished reading. Aptitude, low. That was not good at all. The lightning rat he trained could be rated as below average. This phantom flame beast was really bad. Noticing Su Ping's stares, Su Lingyu glared at him. What are you looking at with those obscene eyes of yours? My Snowball is an excellent phantom flame beast. It is second to none among pets of the same rank. There is no telling who can win even if Snowball meets a 4th rank pet. Okay. Su Ping did not express an opinion. This phantom flame beast currently was at the upper position of the 3rd rank, but its combat strength was rated 4.6. According to the interpretation made by the system, in reality, Snowball's actual combat strength had reached the intermediate position of the 4th rank. Indeed, it was remarkable that Snowball could compete against those in a higher rank. But that was it. The lightning rat he trained had its combat strength rated at 3.6 when it was only at the upper position of the 1st rank. He supposed that the lightning rat would be able to demonstrate abilities of the 5th or 6th rank when it reached the 3rd rank. That aptitude should be deemed outstanding. Yet, even such a genius lightning rat could only be rated as below the average by the system. As far as Su Ping could tell, there was a long journey of progress laid before this phantom flame beast. He wasn't expecting that this Snowball could become alarmingly strong, but, maybe, it would be just average. What? What are you laughing at? Su Lingyu frowned and pulled a long face. Su Ping was speechless. What, I can't even laugh now? But that is a cold laugh. All right, all right. What are you two fighting about now? Come on and eat. Li Qingru came over with the heated dishes and said to the siblings, "Time for dinner. Don't watch TV now." Su Ping did not want to badger Su Lingyu at the moment. He got up to wash his hands for dinner. The dinner was sumptuous, with fish soup, stewed pork with brown sauce, fried pork with hard bean curd, and some other vegetables. This feast provoked Su Ping's appetite. He washed his hands and took his seat to dig in. Su Lingyu came to the dining table with Snowball in her arms as well. Li Qingru filled Su Lingyu's bowl with rice and sat down. How was the match today? Did you pass? Li Qingru asked. Su Lingyu picked up her chopsticks. The corner of her mouth was raised while she kept a straight face. Today was just for preliminary rounds, which is of no trouble to me. Besides, all my opponents are just some new students in my class. It wasn't much of a challenge. It took me just one morning to collect all the points to be qualified for the next round. It is just a pity that What is a pity? Li Qingru became concerned. It's just a pity that I cannot compete against the seniors in the 3rd grade. Otherwise, I could have a chance to join in the finals. Su Lingyu appeared to be sorry for this fact. Ahem. Su Ping almost choked. He began to cough violently. Su Lingyu looked at him through the corner of her eyes. No one is taking food away from you. Aren't you afraid of choking to death by eating so fast? Su Ping finally recovered after he took a few sips of the fish soup. He didn't give her a response and simply focused on his meal. Li Qingru set her mind at ease after Su Lingyue's explanation. Look at you. You have just entered this Academy of Astral Pets. It's not an easy task to stand out amongst the new students. Don't compete against the seniors or you will be worn out, the former said, sulkily. Sure, Mom, you're right. Su Lingyu nodded at once. Her smiling eyes curled like a crescent moon. Su Ping coughed again. Su Lingyu threw him a look that could kill people. Su Ping could tell that a gaze that was growing in sharpness was fixed on him without even having to look up. You must be tired. Eat all you want. Li Qingru picked up some pork to put in Su Lingyue's bowl. Sure. You too, Mom, Su Lingyu answered with a giggle. Su Ping was quick to finish the first bowl of rice and he filled it again. Su Lingyu suddenly remembered something that made her exclaim, anyways, there was something strange at the tournament today. I don't think you'll believe me when I tell you. Li Qingru was surprised. What is it? She asked with curiosity. There is a girl, a senior, and she seems to be one of the students always in the spotlight at the academy. But she only used one lightning rat in today's matches. We all thought that she was losing her mind. Only, you know what? Her lightning rat won 2 games in a row and it defeated a dragonhound and a stone rhino. Su Lingyue's eyes were shining as she shared the news. She was excited. Lightning rat? The name caught Su Ping's attention. Li Qingru was astonished as well. The lightning rat defeated a dragonhound and a stone rhino? Are you sure? Was it a thunderstorm rat? Alas, no, not even a thunderstorm rat could have. As a formal trainer, Li Qingru was familiar with pets. She could tell such an occurrence would be impossible. Sensing that Li Qingru was doubtful, Su Lingyu decided not to keep them guessing. She went on with a smile, don't be freaked out when I tell you that this lightning rat has mastered 2 advanced skills, a 7th rank, Thunder Slash, and the Thunder Shadow Illusion. Relying on the 2 skills, the lightning rat defeated the dragonhound easily and crushed the stone rhino who failed to protect its master. Su Ping was stunned. Thunder Slash? Thunder Shadow Illusion? Was this the lightning rat I trained? Could it be? All of a sudden, Su Ping remembered the look of the master of that lightning rat. She was young, about the same age as Su Lingyu. That was to say, that girl was very likely to be a student. More importantly, Su Ping didn't think there could be another lightning rat that was so horrifying, also able to master the same skills the one he trained did. Such a small world. Su Ping mumbled to himself and produced a fake smile. He would have never imagined that the master of that little guy was going to the same academy as Su Lingyu. 2 advanced skills? Li Qingru was taken aback. What a talented lightning rat. Right, everyone was astonished. Su Lingyu had the same feeling. Its master is a genius. There are few people that I, Su Lingyu, admire. Now that senior girl can be counted as one of them. Su Ping stopped his mind from wandering around and glanced at her. He was thinking, if you only knew your brother did this, would you still treat me the same? But that was only on his mind. His sister would not believe him even if he told her the truth. Rather, she would laugh at him. After dinner, Su Ping and Su Lingyu went their separate ways. Su Ping headed upstairs after his shower. He had thought that he would have more energy to burn off after his afternoon nap. However, he was assaulted by drowsiness as soon as he lay down. Soon, it was dream time for him. The next morning, Su Ping saw a ghost face in front of him as soon as he woke up. Having become prepared due to the last day's fright, he was only shocked for an instant before he caught his breath. He glared at Su Lingyu, who was sneering outside the door, and got up to go downstairs. After breakfast, Su Ping and Su Lingyu left respectively, one for the academy and the other for the store. Su Ping felt invigorated and recharged after a night's rest. He had decided to harvest food that day so that he could gain more energy as soon as possible. At the store, Su Ping first fed the managarm and then he closed the door. He summoned a cultivation plane window in his mind. Soon, the window appeared. Su Ping selected a plane that only required 1 point of energy to teleport and chose to enter. Chapter 14, Collecting Food. A series of system prompt messages sprang to his mind. The host has established connection to the extraterrestrial meteorite region 1002. Connection valid for 24 hours. Within the month valid for beginner's protection, the host will be given 30 free deaths. The host has been granted a beginner's space, 1 cubic meter. The host can use elementary Aeon plant identification spell 3 times. Please head out on your own. Su Ping opened his eyes at once. Before him was a bleak mountain forest with no signs of civilization. He could look directly into the vast space with countless stars above his head. Su Ping took a quick look around. He exhaled in relief after making sure that there were no monsters of any kind. Then, he asked the system in his mind, I heard you say 30 free deaths. Shouldn't it be unlimited times? Of course not, the system answered indifferently, the benefit of unlimited times is exclusive to the beginner's quest. Currently, the host has finished that quest and therefore is no longer eligible for that benefit. Also, after the beginner's protection for 1 month, the host will no longer be granted free deaths. Therefore, the host must improve his abilities as soon as possible, or else it will be difficult for the host to move a single step in the future. Su Ping was stunned. He found this hardly understandable. So, according to you, what will happen to me when I can no longer enjoy free deaths? Will I just drop dead, literally? He didn't have the confidence to say that he would never die, not even once, in a horrifying place like the Thunder Cloud Realm. The host can purchase chances for deaths with energy points and the price is 1/10 of the price of that corresponding cultivation plane. When the times of available deaths return to 0, the host will be forcefully teleported back to the main world, the system explained. They can be purchased? Secretly, Su Ping sighed in relief with this new information. That would be reasonable. Roar. All of a sudden, a violent roar came from the distance, just like a sudden clap of thunder. Caught off guard, Su Ping bent over. Then he saw that across the sky on the horizon, the clouds and mist were dyed red as if something were burning. It seemed that a fierce battle had broken out under that sky. My God, the roar was so loud. Not even a king of beasts could be this loud, Su Ping's heart was pounding. Without hesitation, he turned around and soon ran to the other side of the forest. He ran for a few hundred meters. Bang! A shrill cry was suddenly heard. Su Ping only had enough time to turn his head. In his sight, there appeared a ferocious mouth moving in closer. He blacked out. Su Ping knew that he had died before he could experience the pain. To make it worse, he didn't even have the chance to see what killed him. There was something he was sure of, though. His body must have been eaten up by that thing. Does a cultivation plane that costs 1 energy point have to be this terrifying? What the hell? Su Ping had nothing else to say. How long had he been in here? He died an unnatural death without doing anything. This was such a sudden death. I am too vulnerable. Su Ping felt worn out already. He was just a common person. Some monsters that were skilled in hiding could be concealed in the dark. There was no way that he could have noticed them. Maybe he would be just sending himself to the mouth of those monsters. He saw a prompt message. Revival on the spot / revival at a random spot? Su Ping rolled his eyes. He didn't even know his own actual state after death. He had no tangible body, but with a force of habit, he chose revival at a random spot. White, glaring light flooded over from all sides. He had a better sight after that jump. Soon, he could see his surroundings. This time, he found himself on a desolate hillside with sparse weeds. There were no monsters around. Wait a minute. Is that? All of a sudden, Su Ping saw a pile of rocks trembling in the distance. Upon a closer look, he felt his whole body break out with gooseflesh. That was no pile of rocks. It was a python that had a body built with rocks. Winding stone snake. Property, pet of the Earth family. Rank, the lower position of the 8th rank. Combat strength, 8.1. Aptitude, poor. Abilities mastered, Entangle, Swallow, Mind Burst, and Earth Guardian. While Su Ping was gazing into the distance, information about this python suddenly jumped to mind. Su Ping's pupils contracted as he saw the rank. This was a pet of the 8th rank. But, this 8th rank winding stone snake had a poor aptitude. Su Ping had not seen anything like this before. This python had to be one of the weaker amongst its peers with a combat strength of hardly above 8. Run. Su Ping turned around and prepared to run away at once. He kept on mumbling, "It cannot see me." The moment he turned around, he cast a glance through the corners of his eyes. He stopped on the spot at once. Scarlet stone fruit? 4 or 5 meters ahead of him, there was a plant growing out from the stone cracks. It was a small tree that was about half a meter tall with a cluster of fire-red fruits which were shaped like raindrops. Those fruits were the size of beans and they were dangling in the wind. It was as if he had known about this plant since a long time ago. Much information about this plant surged in his mind, including the functions and growth cycles, etc. What interested Su Ping enough to stop was the fact that this was the vermilion bird's favorite food. Pet food? Su Ping was lost in his thoughts. He didn't know that he could find pet food right there under his nose. He had to thank that Aeon plant identification spell the system had granted him temporarily. Because of this, such knowledge would prevent him from missing out. That being said, the expressions on Su Ping's face changed as he looked at the wiggling winding stone snake in the distance. After a mere moment of hesitation, Su Ping had made up his mind. He dashed out from behind the rock all of a sudden and ran toward that scarlet stone fruit, throwing caution to the wind. He picked up the scarlet stone fruit plant violently. However, its roots were quite firmly set. Since he had overexerted his strength, some of the thorns stabbed his palm, inflicting a dull pain. Collect into the storage space. Yes, or no, the system queried. Yes. Su Ping answered without further thought. The scarlet stone fruit plant vanished from his hand instantly. At the same time, in his mind, he felt there was an addition of a virtual space with a small area and the scarlet stone fruit plant was floating around inside. Is this the storage space? Su Ping took a look and heaved a sigh of relief. Hiss, hiss. Unexpectedly, the ground around him began to tremble. Su Ping raised his head. In the distance, the winding stone snake had lifted its head as well and was staring at Su Ping. Run. Without further ado, Su Ping turned around and began to run at once, even though he knew the chances of him escaping were very low. More than a dozen seconds passed. Revival on the spot / revival at a random spot? The system presented him with the choices again. It went without saying that Su Ping didn't make it. He was swallowed by the smelly mouth of this winding stone snake and was squeezed to death. He even felt the pain was surreal when he was falling apart. Su Ping grimaced in pain. Even to this moment, he was still shivering uncontrollably, as if he had been running nude in the chilly wind. Well, that wasn't entirely fruitless. Su Ping felt comforted that at the very least, he had harvested some food. It was painful, but whose life wasn't? I have 28 more chances left. If I can harvest some food right before I die every time, I believe I can probably fill up half of the storage space, Su Ping thought to himself. He was looking forward to the rest of the journey. Su Ping made his choice. Revival at a random spot. Consciousness came back to his body again. But as soon as he was brought back to life, he felt a bone-piercing coldness. He looked around, only to see that he was floating in water. What random spot is this? Su Ping was astonished. He turned around. Some monsters that looked like crocodiles were closing in slowly. Su Ping was given no chances to struggle. In the blink of an eye, the crocodiles sprang at him and tore him into pieces. Revival on the spot / revival at a random spot? Random. 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 Repeated deaths and repeated revivals. Sometimes, he would be killed right after he was brought back to life. Sometimes, he would only encounter monsters after he had harvested special pet food. Soon, the 30 free revival chances were used up. Phew. Su Ping felt he had been gone for ages when the light came back to his sight and the familiar environment of the store leaped to his eyes. On one hand, he could put his mind at ease. On the other, he felt sorry for that to end. I believe this was a rewarding harvest. Su Ping looked at the pet food filling up the storage space in his mind. He was content. In terms of quantity alone, it was very abundant. But he didn't know how the system would price them. Are you going to set a price on the pet food and sell them? The system asked. Yes. Su Ping answered immediately. Soon, the pet food in the storage space vanished into thin air. Then, Su Ping saw there were some jars and containers on the shelf behind the counter in the store, or something that appeared to be a potted landscape. With no exception, all of them were packed with the pet food that he had harvested at the risk of his life. Scorching Fish Seeker, 380 coins per plant. Fire and Ice Snakegrass, 800 coins per plant. Scarlet Stone Fruit, 130 coins per fruit. Chapter 15, a price of 20,000. This price. Su Ping was surprised at the price marked. Each of those edibles could be sold at over 100 coins, and that would be at least 1 point of energy if converted. Many of them could be sold at 300 or 400, or even 700 to 800, which could be converted into many energy points. To make it better, it merely cost him 1 point of energy to teleport to a cultivation plane. At this rate, the revenue generated from this one trip was over 100 times more than the cost. That being said, Su Ping felt that such matters weren't all that pleasing once he recalled the 30 times he died. Besides, the fact that he could make this much money was attributable to the fact that the cultivation plane he chose was of a surprisingly high quality, and at the same time, to the free chances of revival provided by the system. Without the 30 free deaths, he couldn't have had the chance to collect that much food. Anyways, all in all, to collect food in a cultivation plane is a very good deal. When I can no longer enjoy free deaths, I can buy them. It will only cost me 3 energy points for 30 deaths. There is no doubt I can make more money than that. It is just those deaths that are disgusting. Su Ping shook his head. He wasn't afraid of instant death. It was the slow torture that he was scared of. The price for Scarlet Stone fruits is 130 coins per fruit. That plant I picked must have 20-some or 30-some fruits. Su Ping remembered when he was harvesting the Scarlet Stone fruit. He began to check the actual number. His assumption was right. There were 34 coins. If he could sell them all, he could have at least 40 energy points. Just the Scarlet Stone fruit alone could generate massive profits. Well, the price for this one. All of a sudden, Su Ping saw another type of food that was floating in its lonesome on the side. It was like a strange-looking tree sapling, but with leaves of 7 different colors. Colored Buddha leaf, 20,820 coins per fruit. Su Ping thought he had read the number wrong. Upon a closer look, he was sure he read it correctly. How could it be over 20,000 coins? Startled, Su Ping noticed the effect of this food. This wasn't the average pet food, but a type of herb that could be regarded as an intelligence-enlightening treasure. It can help a pet develop its intelligence by a large margin, so that the pet's power of understanding can be greatly enhanced. The power of understanding was of critical importance to pets. The pets that had the power of understanding could learn strong skills easily and comprehend their master's instructions in battles. Also, the progress and evolution of pets with the power of understanding would come much easier for them when compared to average pets. In particular, in the same race, pets with a stronger power of understanding would usually be the rulers in their respective race. They could defeat others of the same race easily because of their better understanding of their powers, and their skills in battle were far superior. In a nutshell, the power of understanding was something that could enable a pet to grow and become a ruler of its race. Su Ping had a faint memory that he seemed to have harvested this thing next to a pond. It wasn't a risky journey. Rather, it was surprisingly easy. He didn't check it carefully back then. He just picked it up after confirming that it was food. He didn't expect that it would be the most precious among all the food he had harvested. That is over 20,000, and I can make 200 energy points when I sell it? Su Ping did the math. He was over the moon. This colored Buddha leaf alone could solve the problem of him buying the awakening potion, and he would have some extra money left. This trip was so worthwhile. Su Ping was thrilled. All of a sudden, he felt some extra deaths would not be a problem. Soon, Su Ping calmed himself down. He asked the system at once, "Is it possible that we have set the price too low? If it's used on an advanced pet, the effect produced would not be something that can be bought with merely 20,000 coins." Su Ping was sure that if this plant could inspire an advanced pet to learn a rare ability, even adding another 0 to the current price would be considered a cheap price. He had beginner's luck as the buff to help him stumble upon this plant. Usually, people could not find a place to buy it even if they wanted to. "The host doesn't have the right to negotiate the price," the system replied coldly. "The colored Buddha leaf is not the best food to improve the power of understanding. This is just a usual kind of herb. At best, it can exert influence on 9th rank pets. A price that can be converted to 300 energy points is reasonable." Su Ping almost flared up. The effect is already incredible when the plant can influence 9th rank pets. The ones above the 9th rank pets are king beasts. There are few and far between in this entire continent. What more do you want? There is no need to say more. To go on would incur pain experience as punishment. The system went straight to the point without the slightest hesitation in a colder tone. Su Ping indignant. The system was being unreasonable. In the end, Su Ping had to compromise. He heaved sighs as he checked the remaining food. When he had the total price calculated, his mood turned for the better. Now, the food is ready. All I have to do is to sell them. Su Ping took a deep breath. He opened the roller shutter door to welcome in the sunlight. He spent over half a day on the cultivation plane, but only an hour had passed in the real world. Su Ping went back to the store. He sat behind the counter to search for information on pets in the federal government resources on the computer, so that he could adjust to this world faster while he waited for customers to arrive. Not long after, there came one. "Sir, please give me a bag of food for a conflagration canine." A young man in leisure wear came in without looking up from his phone. Su Ping turned his sights away from the computer. He searched on the shelf and finally found some food that a low-rank canine pet could eat. Here you go. 3-leafed flame grass, just the food for the canine pet of the fire family. The price is 380, Su Ping said. Okay. The young man in leisure wear answered without thinking. He was just about to pay when he suddenly raised his head, shocked. How much? 380, Su Ping frowned. This food can increase the intensity of fire elements in pets of the fire family. With a long-term administration, there is a chance that the low-rank pet in the fire family can evolve into a more advanced pet, explained Su Ping. Intensity of the fire element? Evolution? The young man in leisure wear raised his eyebrows. He looked at the counter behind Su Ping. The prices for those foods stunned him. When he saw the colored Buddha leaf at a price of over 20,000 coins, the young man said nothing and left right away. Shit. This must be an inn run by brigands. It's just some dog food and you're telling me about evolution. Fuck you. Su Ping watched as this young man left, interspersing his talk with curses. Su Ping pulled a long face. He was angry but he managed to suppress it eventually. Judging by price alone, it might seem high. But that food had excellent quality and was reasonably priced. He didn't fool anyone. Rather, as far as he could tell, he was sacrificing part of the profit. He started on the wrong foot, but Su Ping was not frustrated. As long as his goods were of high quality, they would be eventually sold. Gold is bound to shine. Hi, do you sell bird food? At noon, another customer came.